So while we're headed up, the first thing we came across right through here is there's a flat area here, and you can kind of see how this banks up over here, and it's like a landing. And what we believe was here was a station for the tramway as the hillside continues going up. And why we think that is right here, there's this iron apparatus that looks like it would have been potentially connected to a tramway, and you can see where there was probably a beam, a wood beam of some kind in here, and you can see it's kind of this cool pin right here, like a cotter pin. And then next to it was this wedge type, I don't know if it was a drill steel or just some sort of a chisel. You can see it has a chisel end here. And then they split it, looks like purposely up top to act maybe as a cleat, possibly to put rope or something around and to hold something. So it's pretty cool to see. And then here you can see it has a D-ring hanging off this side. And over here, I don't know if there's one on this side or not. It doesn't look like there is. You can see it looks like how these were hammered in. So just a really cool relic out here that was probably part of the tramway. So our next stop on the way up is some remains of what appears to be an ore car, and you can see where this would have been possibly a chassis that swiveled, and here you have like, it looks like an axle that would have possibly had some wheels on it. Over here you have what appears to be the bucket portion. It looks like it was a smaller ore car, possibly a little more modern than the site dates. It could have dated to the early 1900s. Down to this side of it and see if we can get a better look. And you can see, I'll try to get over to this side, that it still pivots here. So it's still able to turn it a little bit there. So we're continuing up towards the mine. And as we showed you down below, there was a tramway here. So we have some remains of some tramway buckets, and you can see here most likely this is what would have connected to the bucket and then to the tramway cable, and you can see right there. Kind of how ever this would have hung down and made it so the buckets could swing a bit and have some ability to balance on the CG. And then over here we have a second one, another bucket. So we're still making our way up to the adit. I'm going to kind of divert here. Looks like there's a ore car, the remains of it anyway. kind of sitting off to the side here, so go check that out real quick. Obviously, not in very good condition, so it's kind of hard to tell. On this side, though, you can see a little bit better. And another portion of it over here.
Yeah, right.
And then right above the R-car remains, we have some rail kind of sitting here. So we're gonna continue making our way up. So right in front of us here, kind of where this clear area is the waste dump for the mine. You can see it kind of angles off and slopes off in each direction. And so the bulk of it is right in front of us here. There's a considerable amount of rock still here, but the forest overburden has come down and covered up most of it, so you don't really notice it. But if you've seen these enough times and with experience, you can pick them out pretty easily. So we're gonna make our way up to the top of the waste dump, and we should be at the portal entrance here momentarily. So there were some improvements done to the site when it was reworked in the 50s, and some of the remnants of that are left. And there's this motor here that probably had something to do with driving the aerial tramway, or what they converted it over to later, mixed with some of the original, which we have these like trolley wheels for the aerial tramway that look to be pretty original to the 1902, 1905 era. And see if I can get another shot of this motor here. Don't believe, I'm not sure, but I don't think there was any easy definitive markings on this thing. Some of you guys that know your engines and whatnot probably in an instant can tell me what it is, but not my thing, not my expertise. So we've reached the entrance of the mine here, and we're standing at the portal. And as you can see, it isn't the friendliest looking portal in terms of these boulders that came down quite a few years ago. They've been here since I've known this site, and lots of others. All right, we're gonna make our way down into the sky. You see right here, you have this icicle right in front of us. That probably won't survive getting around it. See, well, you don't want to mess with this material. It's kind of a Jenga pile. So it's kind of direct in and back out. Right. Looks like we got a couple feet of water here. As a lot of you guys point out and mention, the water is very clear. A lot of this is snow melt off and other water table water seeping in, so it's pretty clear. Once you go through it, it's not so clear after you stir up the sediment. You can see down under the water there, the rails for the ore car. Looking back at where we just climbed down here. So as we make our way back in here, we'll kind of start watching for some of the ore vein. So this mine, again, dates to about 1905, 1908 period it was worked. It was primarily a silver producer. There was some zinc and lead, and there were showings of gold. And you can see that there was some shoring timbers here that are all kind of rotted out and on the ground now. And all the ground fall here that came off the sides and the ceiling over the years. Just kind of looking down here at the rail. It's exposed now, we're out of the water. It's a pretty big tunnel. I'm going to say it's, I don't know, it's got to be 8 to 9 foot to the ceiling of it here. The overall length of this tunnel was about 1,200 feet. See this granite material. Hard to see it. It's got a lot of sparkle in it. Kind of see some mineralization through this granite here. We'll see if we can find some better examples of that here, either overhead, which I think we're starting to see as we get over here. And you can start to see the mineralization here in the vein. So just kind of continue through here. All right, so kind of cool up here. You can see there's this little short area, and when most people think of mines and mining, this is kind of the picture I think they get in their head with this style shoring. So as you look, you can see there's some fill material, a little bit of it anyway, at these boards, and some gobbing being held back by some boards here on both sides. And it's just basically material they took and stacked out of the way rather than take it out of the mine. They just moved it and then kind of built some wood lagging to hold all that back. Looks like the tunnel kind of takes an S-curve here. And you can see this hose probably put in, obviously, just looking at its condition, in the 50s during the improvements when it was reworked. And again, kind of coming up on some more of that mineralization, and even here, you can see what looks like probably some copper possibly showing there, some of the wash. And again, I didn't put it on camera, but we have our O2 and gas sensors that monitor the air that we're breathing. Mostly in Washington, the concern would be that we'd run into oxygen deficiency, not so much gases in these load metal mines. So we always stay around 19–20%. And then here, this kind of, I'll try to give you an idea here. It's a little bit of a widened out area. You can see this mineralization above us, kind of coming down through here where they, I don't know if I'd really call it stoped, but they went up a little bit here. And then you can see some more what appears to be possibly their copper wash. So as we come through here, there is a ore chute here. And this ore chute, I believe, was from a raise that they went up. There was not another mine that connected above this one. So you can see here, and I'll try to back up so you can see it. There's this old ladder that went up, and then over here is the ore chute. And one of the things you guys talk about, people mention, as you can see, that this ore chute is loaded. So what that means is, if this wood, which is right in front of it here, gives way, there's a high probability this material is going to dump down and fill some portion of the tunnel. So you just don't want to mess with or touch this kind of stuff when you're in here, given the age of it. And you certainly don't want to be anywhere near it if it was to let loose. So we'll take a quick look here. This ladder, you can see, went up to a platform, it looks like, and unfortunately there's been some caving or something that has blocked it, but this ore chute is completely lined in wood, and so they would have been working a raise up there and then moving the material down through the chute, and then obviously taking the material via ore car from this spot back out through the main haulage tunnel there. And you can see some of the wood platforming here. You can kind of see what looks like, if you can see that square wooden box right. Let's see if I can point it out here off this light there. It almost looks like what we've seen before as far as air pipe, ventilation pipe, but made of wood. So that's kind of cool to see. Cool mineralization through here that will show you. Kind of gets really neat. So up here, you see all of this green showing, which is really cool. Green and blue. And down here, you can see this interesting swirling in the rock. Cool. And up in here, you see it looks like where they were chasing this along. That really, really picturesque, and it kind of follows. I'll show you the tunnel here, and then kind of pan back up to where this vein of material is. It's really cool. Again, looks like it starts to get pretty colorful here. This is really picturesque. Hopefully it shows on camera as cool as it does in here. And it looks like over here we have a air receiver tank. You can see this green stain just kind of dripping to the floor of the mine here. Try to show you some of these little mineralized stalactites hanging there that are kind of that green and blue. some more very, very colorful wash coming off this mineralized area. This looks like could have been an explosive box, but it doesn't have the typical dove joints on it. This is kind of an interesting little area here. So you have this just amazing mineralization on the walls. It's dripping down, super awesome. And then you have this switch where, for whatever reason, they want to be able to bring the ore car off the main line of track here and have it kind of go over here to the left, or depending which way you're facing the mine. You can see the switch right here. And you see this occasionally, but it's not super common, so it's kind of cool to see. Just a little area they worked, maybe just to store something. You see these rods quite often. A lot of these were used to pack the explosives in the drill holes. Looks like we're coming up on the back wall, where it faces out possibly. I think that's what this might be. Just double check here. You can see there's some carbide from 1952 here, some from 1948. Unfortunately, some of this is delaminated from the kind of the coating that was over this granite material of dust and whatnot. And Northwest Underground Explorations, and it's like 21. I think we recognize those initials right there. Pretty sure. Yeah. And a few other, like Northwest Underground. Take a look over here. See if this continues a little bit, which I think it does. Not too far though. So now we're kind of getting to the back here, where it faces out. You can see they kind of went off this way. But we'll look at this first. You can see all these drill holes, and interesting thing is all of these, you can see, are still loaded. Explosive is pretty degraded, and it's very wet, and it's completely saturated. All the same, we obviously wouldn't mess with it by any means. But this one, you can kind of see that it still has its red paper on it. So we'll look over here for a second. This just doesn't really go very far. Take a look back. back here. It's a pretty low tunnel. It's like the big prize. Some Colt 45 stout malt liquor and a pack of Marlboro. And again, this area looks like somebody probably came back in here, and just guessing this is dynamite wrap paper down here. And at some point someone came in here and poked around in all these drill holes and messed with the explosive that was in there. So you can kind of see all these different holes. So I've got to crouch down to get through this. It's pretty low. Alright, so all out of this one. So if we continue back at the intersection where the other carbide writing was, there's some carbide graffiti kind of back in this little area. Let's see if we can get a good look at it here. Looks like it's from the 30s, 1933, 36, 41, 35. And this all would have been from either mine explorers or when it was reworked later in history from its original primary working years of 1908-ish and 1940. So we're going to make our way back towards where we came in and kind of get a different angle at times. Some of these mineralized areas and veins that maybe we missed from the other direction. All right, so we are making our way back kind of towards where the ore chute is, and it sounds like the boys are looking for some ore samples back here. So let's see what they have going on here.
That raise was one of the neat went up, and I'm assuming, what? The raise with the ladder, because I saw the ladder right there. Yeah, I was like, I'm not even gonna try and go over that.
You find anything?
I got a little chunk. I'm trying to find a spot that looks like it might be a bit loose to be able to smack into it.
Yeah, that's it, just out of reach. Just be careful of your phone.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would be disastrous. Yeah, I mean, goddamn, it's right there. It's just a matter of reaching
Yeah.
and busting it out.
Busting it out.
and pyrite? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, definitely the pyrite. You got a decent chunk out when you smack smaller pieces out of it. I got big chunks out of it when I came in, but it was a chore.
It's super coppery, but
Yeah, just be nice.
That's interesting because it's not really listed as
a copper mine?
having a heavy amount of copper here. But obviously it's showing with this wash,
Yeah.
unless, you know, it's something else.
How'd that taste?
Oh, yeah.
See the pyrite shimmering there, it's kind of,
Especially right up in here.
yeah.
That would be great. Best spot for it.
Yeah, I was getting really good, like, soul
Let's see
pieces.
what we got. Get this thing to focus. A little bit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pyrite and whatnot. In that vein. Yeah, not too shabby. This came from right up there.
That was a big chunk.
Wash that out, maybe get stuff out of it. All right, and then which one is it? I don't know, did it have anything on it?
Let's see.
It's got plenty of copper. I mean, a little bit of pyrite right up in here,
Yeah, not a whole lot.
but not a lot. There's a lot more pyrite just running through the sand than there is
Yeah, there is.
anywhere else.
All right, well, try
But
to do a little of the
The blue
sampling
of
of
that
the
rock
vein
is
there.
pretty cool.
See some quartz in there, looks like, on that edge.
Yep, right around there.
Forest ahead of us. So we're almost back to where the ore chute is. So this ore chute is right in front of me here. Gotta take one last look at it. See from a different angle here. See the ladder. We looked up and chute there. We kind of looked up this once before. A little bit hard to see it there, but not a whole lot to see. Bin. Chutes up there. Now we're back at the short area that we came through. You can kind of see it from the other side here. We have the boards above supporting anything from coming down, and then this gobbing that they put up against the wall and use this wood as kind of lagging to keep it back. And given this was done in probably 1908 era, it's held up pretty well for that period of time.
has a little drill hole in it. I'll have one.
So that about does it for our trip to the Silver Dollar Mine. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we sure appreciate you coming along with us on this adventure. Please remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you like what we do, please consider subscribing to our channel. And until our next adventure, take care.